Hi guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So we did it. We made it to 2023 and I hope that everybody had a really good reading year last year in 2022. I think that I did. I think that all of the things that I've read in 2022 for the most part was really good. I mean, I did have some ups and downs. I had some things that I really enjoyed and then I had some things that I didn't enjoy. But for the most part, I think that I had a really good reading year. And like I said, I hope that you guys did as well. So with this video today, I'm going to go over some of my reading stats. I'm going to go over some of my goals, as well as some of my channel updates that will be happening over the course of this year. And then I want to talk about some of the series that I hope to complete and start, which also correlates to some of my goals. So we will go ahead and get started. So jumping right into my reading stats, for 2022, I was able to read a total of 130 books. Now that total also includes some of my DNFs. Technically, I mean, even though I DNF'd the book, I technically at least read some part of the book. If we want to be really technical with it, I technically read and completed 122 books. In the previous year, I read 84 books. So between 2021 and 2022, I had a big improvement with 122 books. I think a lot of that had to do with me reading a lot of shorter books and novellas last year. I know last year with some of the series that I wanted to complete, a lot of those had like novellas attached to them. So I didn't have to, but I read the novellas that was associated with the series in order to feel like they were completed. So I did a lot of novella reading in 2022. So that really contributed to the total number of books I was able to complete. Also, I have been really upping the number of audiobooks that I am able to complete in a year, which I never thought that I would have been someone that enjoys audiobooks, but I have just been really finding a lot of time to fit audiobooks in my schedule. I'm not someone that listens to audiobooks in the car because I'm a music person in the car, and I can only listen to them when I'm doing like certain things. It even surprises myself that I'm able to get through so many audiobooks. That also contributes to the number of books that I'm able to complete. But with that being said, with the formats that I prefer either an audiobook or physical copy, but I will always prefer a physical copy over everything. But occasionally I will pick up my Kindle or read something on my phone. So that being said, we will go ahead and just start with the different reading formats. So I was able to get through 68 audiobooks, 8 ebooks, and 54 physical copies. Jumping over to my star ratings, I had a pretty average reading year as far as like the star ratings goes. Most of the books that I read ended up with 3 stars. 3 stars isn't bad. Like I said, that's average. Some 3 stars I feel like were better than other 3 stars, if that makes sense. But I did really enjoy some books. I really did not enjoy other books. And like I said, I did have some DNFs. So I had 12 5-star books, 41 4-star books, 55 3-star books, 13 2-star books, 1 1-star, and then 8 DNFs. And then out of all of the books that I read this year, I actually got through a lot of new releases, and I didn't realize how many new releases I actually read. I was kind of keeping track of my most anticipated releases because I just kind of wanted to make sure I was reading the things that I said was my most anticipated. So I was keeping track of that. But then at some point in the year, I started keeping track of all of the books that I was picking up that were actually new releases. So out of all the books that I read this year, 45 of them were new releases. And then everything else that I read was published not in 2022. So 85 of those was not published in 2022. And then a majority of everything that I read is, of course, adult books is what I prefer. I still read young adult. If it's something that interests me, or if it's an author that I really enjoy, I will still pick up young adult. I have no problems with it. I will also dabble in middle grade. If it's something that's really interesting or something that someone will recommend to me, I have no problems picking up middle grade. But as far as the age category goes, I read 103 adult books, 25 young adult books, and then 2 middle grades. So I'm not gonna go and list off like the number of books that I read for every single genre, because I did read from a lot of different ones, but from the main ones that I typically read from is either fantasy or mystery thriller. Seems like horror is pretty up there now, which is surprising for me. That's what I typically would go for, and it's pretty consistent like that within my stats. So for fantasy, I read 39 books that would be considered fantasy. I read 30 books that would be considered either mystery thriller. I read 22 horror books, 12 romance, 13 fiction, and then the other books fell into the other different categories. So I tend to read a little bit of everything, but like I always say, fantasy and mystery thriller are probably the 2 top genres that I always read from. But I think that both of those go in waves. There will be times where I'm like on this fantasy kick, where that's all that I'm reading, and then there are times where I'm on like this mystery thriller kick, and that's all that I'm reading. But pretty much what you will see here is a combination of those with a little bit of something else mixed in there. So there were quite a few authors where I read multiple books from them this year and that had to do with me trying to complete either one of their series, or I'm continuing with their series, or I've just read multiple books from them this year. The top one being TJ Klune. I read 5 of his books this year, and that was because I was trying to finish up his Green Creek series. So I think I read like 2 or 3 of his novellas, and then I think I had to finish like 2 or 3 of his actual novels this year. Sarah J. Maas, I read 4 of her books. I've been trying to finish up the Throne of Glass series. Shauna McGuire, I read 4 of her books. I have been catching up with the Wayward Children series, so I had to binge a few of her books before I could even start on the newest book that had came out of hers last year. And then some other authors where I read at least 3 books from them was Riley Sager. I was trying to finish up some of his books. Sabaa Tahir, I finished up her series. Fonda Lee, I finished up the Greenbone Saga, plus I read one of her new novella that came out from her in the Greenbone Saga series. So those are just some of the authors where I've read multiple books from them this year. And I think there's some others, but those are like the only ones that come to mind. So those are all of like just my general overall stats of what I've read this year, just kind of like broken down a little bit. So next up, what I want to do is talk about some of my reading goals for this year. So even though I was able to read 122 books, I am going to keep my original reading goal, and I'm going to leave it at 60. I think that's a safe number for me because I want to try and complete and start a lot of big fantasy series this year. And so because of that, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to make it through a lot of books like I did this year. With fantasy, for me, I don't tend to listen to those on audio, so audio isn't going to be for those. So I'm going to be reading a lot of those physically. So I think 60 is going to be a good solid number for me. One of the things that I'm going to be doing is trying to focus on my personal TBR. I love, reading new releases. Obviously, I like buying new books. I'm not saying that I'm not going to buy new books. I'm not even going to tell that lie because I probably am. I'm just going to try to keep it to a minimum, and I'm trying not to use my own money to buy new books. So far, all of the books that I have been buying these last couple of weeks have been with either gift cards. Well, they've all been with gift cards, so not my own money. So I'm trying to make sure that if I do buy books, it's not with my own money. But I am trying to focus a lot on my own TBR. I have so many unread books. It's ridiculous. So I did post this on my Instagram. So now I'm telling you guys, you're going to start to see me read books from way back when, and don't judge me. So if you start to see me reviewing books from like 2008, 2012, and you're like, oh my gosh, why is she just now reading this? don't judge, just go with the flow. I'm just saying I'm getting caught up on some stuff because I need to read these books. That's what I need to do. I'm getting caught up on my TBR. That's one of my biggest goals, is to read the books that I already own and try my hardest not to bring too many new books into this house. Another thing that I really want to start doing is rereading books. Last year I told myself that I was gonna reread books and I reread one. So I really want to reread books. Now I don't have a number set for how many that I want to reread. I know for sure one book that I want to reread for next year is Mickey 7. If you haven't watched my top books of this year or my best books of this year, Mickey 7 came in at number 4. And the second book in that, I don't know if it's a series or a duology, it's coming out this year and I cannot wait, but I really want to reread Mickey 7 in anticipation for that book. And so it just got me to thinking that I just want to reread a lot of the books that I say that I enjoy, and I just don't know why I don't go back to reread books that I enjoy. Well, I do know why. I feel as though I just don't have the time. I have so many new books that I want to read or other books that I want to read that I just feel I don't have the time to then go back and reread stuff. But there's so many books that I want to reread. So I'm going to try to make the time to reread books, especially books that I say that I love. So I'm going to try to make that a priority this year, to reread things that I love, especially if I'm anticipating another book, just to go back, reread, refresh my memory. So I'm going to try to do that. Another thing that I am really trying to focus on this year is reading more nonfiction. I have quite a few nonfiction books that I own that I have seen other people read and review that sounded really good. That's why I have them. But I don't pick up nonfiction a lot. It's not a habit for me to pick it up. I really want it to be a habit for me to pick up nonfiction. I love listening to people review nonfiction. I just don't know why I just don't pick it up. So I have some sitting here. I really want to get to them. So I'm just really going to try to make it a habit this year to pick up more nonfiction and just incorporate it into my normal reading schedule, rotation, something. I just want to make it a habit to pick up more nonfiction. So then the last goal that I wanted to talk about, and it's the segue into this last part of this video, is I really want to complete some series. They're all fantasy series, and then there are some series that I want to start. So these first 2 series that I want to complete are series that I really thought that I was going to have completed by the end of 2022. That did not happen, unfortunately, for me, so I'm still reading them. The first one that I want to complete is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I am currently on the second to last book, which is The Tower of Dawn. I am in the middle of that one. December really just got away from me, and I just could not. I'm enjoying the book. I had a lot of other stuff to do, apparently. The month of December just flew by. So I'm still in the middle of that book. So hopefully in January, I can just knock that one out, as well as that last book, even though I think the last book, I don't even remember what it's called, but the last book is almost like 900 pages. Hopefully I can just go ahead and finish that, but I will be finished with the Throne of Glass series by the end of this year. And then the other one that I want to complete is the Rhaeria Chronicles by Michael J. Sullivan. I finished the first 2 books in that series, so only have 2 more books to go. Although I just found out when I was looking on Goodreads, just to make sure it was only 4 books in that series, there's a 5th one that he's working on in that series. He will leave his updates on Goodreads in his comment under the books. And he said that he is currently like drafting the 5th book, which I had no idea that there was a 5th book, but I only have 4. I'm only counting 4. So I only have 2 books left. So hopefully within the next couple of months, I will just have, not the next couple months, but maybe by the end of January, I'll have that series completed. That way I can jump into his next one, which I don't remember what that's called, but those are the top 2 that I want to finish first. The other one that I would like to complete this year is the Drowning Empire series, which is the series with the Bone Shard Daughter. I've already finished the Bone Shard Daughter. Really enjoyed that one. So I just need to finish books 2 and 3. I think the 3rd book is coming out this year. I think it's just a trilogy. I think. So I just want to finish that one. Then I want to finish Mistborn Era 2. That has been the talk of the town because Brandon Sanderson has released the final book in that series, The Lost Metal, at the end of last year. And so I started the series, The Alloy of Law, back in, I think it was September, I think. And then I just never picked up the rest of the books. I thought the Alloy of Law was okay. I didn't hate it, but it's definitely not my favorite thing that Brandon Sanderson has made. But I liked it well enough to go ahead and continue, and I just want to go ahead and continue that series before I forget. So I just want to finish it. And then I also want to complete The Poppy War. That's another one where I thought it was fine, the first book. I'm not on the same level as everybody else who said that they loved that series. I thought it was fine. I still want to complete it. We'll see how I feel about the second one to determine whether or not I'm going to go into that third one. But I do want to go ahead and complete those. So those are the series that I want to complete. So jumping into the series that I want to start, these are a mix of adult fantasy and then young adult fantasy. So the first one that I want to start is not a completed series, but it's The Burning. Everyone knows, like, The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. So I have the first 2 books in the series. I want to go ahead and start it. In the beginning, I heard so many people say they like the series, but the longer this is out, I feel I've heard more mixed things about it now than people raving about it. So I'm curious to see how I'm going to feel about it. But I still really want to go ahead and start this one. This next series I have had on my shelf forever. To the point to when I picked up the books, I had to blow dust off of it. That's how long I've had it on my shelves. And I'm surprised that I have not been spoiled for the series at all. I literally don't know how it ends. I don't know anything about it. That is A Song of Ice and Fire, A Game of Thrones. I really want to start this series. I don't know what's gotten into me with wanting to go ahead and start it now, but recently a lot of people have been talking about A Game of Thrones, and I'm sure it's because of the show. Something Dragons. I don't know. Something Dragons. I seen one episode of the show and it was interesting. And I think because I saw that one episode of the show with my dad, I was like, maybe I should go ahead and read the book so I can catch up and join the hype. So hopefully I'll like it, but I'm about 10 years too late. So I'm finally going to start that series. Is that a series that I think I'm going to complete this year? Probably not, but at least I can go ahead and start the first book in the series. These last 2 series that I want to start are series that I had wanted to start and finish last year, but I never got a chance to. They're both young adult series. The first one is The Folk in the Air, which is the Cruel Prince series by Holly Black. Now listen, I'm a little tainted by Holly Black because I tried to read her adult book, The Book of Night. Yeah. And that did not go well for me. So I don't know if I'm going to like The Cruel Prince. I have all of her books in that series because I think I was getting them at the time that they were coming out and it was so much hype around it. And then I just kind of forgot. They've just been sitting there. So now I'm like, okay, I'm going to read this year. I really want to finish that one. And then the next one is the Imperium series, Furyborn, which literally is right behind me. I feel like people were talking about the first one, and then after that I have not heard anyone say anything else about the rest of that series. So, and I heard good things about the first one, but it's a series that I think I'm gonna like it, so I kept it around, but now I need to read it. And I've been wanting to read this for the last couple of years and still have not gotten around to it. This is gonna be the year. I'm going to get to it. So these are the series that I need to at least start at least book 1 before next year, at the very least book 1. And of course, I'm sure there are going to be other series that I'm going to start, but these are going to be like my priorities. So next up, I just want to go ahead and talk about some channel updates for you guys that you should expect to see for this upcoming year. So first up, I don't think that you guys will be seeing any more TBRs from me. I tried it out. I don't think I like it. It stressed me out. Now, I have said this before on my channel. I am strictly a mood reader. I pick up what I am in the mood for. Just like I told you guys about the series that I want to complete and start, there's no telling when that's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point this year, but I pick it up as I become in the mood for them. But when I set TBRs, I just feel as though I'm stuck reading that, and if I'm not in the mood for it, I don't know, it just gives me anxiety. And it stresses me out. And then sometimes I put off stuff to the very end, and then I have to rush and do it, and it's too much. It just causes me too much stress. So I don't think I'm going to be doing TBRs anymore. I'm not really sure what I will be doing, because I know people like to watch TBR videos. I know people enjoy seeing what booktubers are reading to kind of keep up with that. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing like a random currently reading videos. I'm not sure what that's going to look like. But what I do know is I don't think at this point in time I will be doing TBRs. I am going to start doing reading sprints. At this point in time, they are going to be monthly. So over on my community tab, I had asked you guys when would be the best time for me to start those. I think I put like the weekdays during the evenings or on the weekends, either in the afternoons or in the evenings. And it seems like the weekends in the evenings is what people have voted on, and I have decided that because of that, what is going to be the best is probably Sunday evenings, just for like a couple of hours. And like I said, it's going to start monthly. I will have one at some point before the month ends, and we'll just see how it goes. I'm really nervous to do it. I've never done it on my channel. I have been invited to join other people's sprints. So I have been involved with reading sprints before. I've just never had one on my own channel. So I'm a little nervous. So we'll see how that goes. Eventually, what I'm thinking is probably invite other booktubers on here, just like I was invited on other people's channels. I'm going to reach out to other booktubers and eventually have them on my channel as well. And then if it goes well, maybe that can turn into, you know, other discussion type videos, other different type of live videos, and we'll just see what happens from there. But if you guys want to vote for a different time or have other time suggestions, you can go ahead and vote over on that community tab post. It is out there, so you guys let me know. But as of right now, I am looking at Sunday evenings, and I will have the first one up at some point in January. So be on the lookout for that. Also too, just randomly, you guys will just start to see more series reviews on my channels as I'm completing series. Instead of just leaving those in like my recent reads videos, I will have those separated out into their own videos. I have done like a couple of them, but I'm going to be more conscious and leave those separate in their own videos. I like doing them. It gives me more time to focus on just those particular books, because sometimes I have like a lot to say. So you'll be seeing more of those. I think you guys will be seeing more individual book reviews. For whatever reason, I have always thought was weird was for booktubers, we review books, but individual book videos don't tend to do well. Either for anybody's channel, whether you're a big booktuber or a small booktuber, those don't tend to do well unless they're like really popular books, which I thought was weird because that's what we do, right? But anywho, I probably will do more individual book reviews just because there are some books that I have a lot to say about them, but it's harder to say everything that I want to say in my recent reads videos when I have a ton of books to talk about. but I don't want to make those videos like an hour long to get all of my thoughts out. So you might start to see more individual book reviews, and then I'm gonna start to have a lot more, not a lot more, but I'm probably gonna have a few more discussion videos out there, and I'm just gonna try to have a few more different type of videos besides just review videos. So just be on the lookout for those. So that is all that I have for you guys today. Like I said, I hope that everybody had a really good reading year in 2022, and I hope that 2023 brings you guys another good reading year as well. And please let me know down in the comments if there is anything that you guys are looking forward to this year, any books that you're looking forward to. Let me know what your reading goals are for this year, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.